When takes on the Chief Justice, claiming she is out of touch with reality while questioning what he calls her smooth sailing rise to become Chief Justice.
You don't have the rough edges of life.
How can you really say that? I mean, the Chief Justice must have gone through a lot.
What's her background?
A lawyer?
After she passed as a lawyer, what did she pass through? They are completely out of touch.
In the latest twist to the restricted legal education controversy, there's fresh pressure on the General Legal Council chaired by the CJ after they summoned editor of the ABC News portal. We'll hear from the editor who just appeared before the committee.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Bond Savings and Loans. Your success, our passion. Vodafone, the future is exciting. Ready. Gassem, the nation builder, and Antate Furniture, designed for life. The Chief Justice Sophia Kufu is tonight under fresh pressure to open up legal education in Ghana. Second, Deputy Speaker of Parliament Abang Dagbeng has launched a scathing critique of the Chief Justice's leadership of the General Legal Council on the controversial issue of whether or not to open up legal education. In an exclusive interview to be aired later tonight on PM Express on the Joy News channel, Mr. Dagbeng questions what he calls the Chief Justice's smooth sailing rise to become Chief Justice, and whilst he raises the questions about her ability to be in touch with reality. In fact, he maintains the Chief Justice is completely out of touch with reality, a reason why she refuses to open up legal education in Ghana. We'll hear more from Mr. Babwing shortly. But his comments come on a day when the General Legal Council, which the CJ chairs, had invited the editor of the news portal ABC News over a story they had done and an interview they had done with Kweku Ansasari, who is a former rector of the Ghana School of Law, in which he had questioned the General Legal Council and the basis of the decision to close legal education in Ghana, which we've seen has been blamed for the many mass failures we've recorded over the years. Well, the news portal was asked to appear before the General Legal Council and come with all the recordings they have with Mr. Ansasari, who himself is a renowned lawyer, by the way, as they probed into the comments he made in the wake of the controversy surrounding legal education in Ghana. I want to bring in right now the editor of the ABC News, Mr. Gordon Asari Bediako, who's on the telephone line with us right now. Mr. Bediako, thank you for your time here on Top Story.
Thanks, my brother Evans. How are you?
I'm doing great. So tell me, what was the story? What story led to this invitation? What was the story about? Because I've seen many. You did an interview with Ansasari, and there were several stories you did from there. One had to do with the legal education, but I've seen that there are others also about other things you had commented on, including judges' independence. So which one exactly was the basis for the invitation?
All right, thanks again. The story, the one that you just mentioned about the independence of the judges, was flowing from the controversy surrounding admission of students into the Ghana Law School. So it was the same interview that we had. And then out of the interview, we had two separate stories of it. We had the interview, I guess, on 25th September 2019, and then published the video online on 26th September 2019. And so, you recall what happened, the controversy surrounding the mass failures, which people use is legendary. It's very historical. So, Ansasari is a former director of Ghana Law School. And so if you want to talk to people about the admission to Ghana Law School, I mean, if you want to talk about for five people, certainly his name will be mentioned.
Plus, he's also the founder of another law school, the Mount Crest, which also trains students to become lawyers.
Yes, turning out thousands of LLB students.
LLB students, yes.
Yes, so we thought it wise to elicit his opinion about it. And so we had a discussion with him. he agreed for us to interview him. We interviewed him, and then we used our editorial discretion as to which particular things that he made that we wanted the public to know. And so we published it, and then published the video as well, which is available on YouTube and other social media handles. So that's what we did. And then only yesterday, in fact, when we published the story, nobody wrote a letter to us, nobody complained that maybe we had written a story which favored them, which was not fair to the whatever. Until yesterday around 3 p.m., we had a letter from the General Legal Counsel signed by the registrar of the Judicial Service, saying that it's been directed by the Chief Justice for us to appear before the committee and hand over the footage. And so when we had a letter, we talked to a lot of lawyers and then seasoned journalists. And I must say that if it were to be opinion polls, it would have been 80-20. 80% were saying that we shouldn't honor the invitation. And by 20% said we should honor the invitation. But we thought it was, well, it's a state institution. We don't want to show disrespect. So let us go but prepare our response and then go with the footage. There are 2 different footages. So we copied everything and put it on pen drive. When we went, the Chief Justice was in seat. He was chairing the committee. Justice Ochi was also there. President of GBA was also there. And then Mr. Bichel, lawyer Bichel, was also there. So
the Chief Justice herself was sitting on this committee that you appeared before today?
Yes, in fact, she was the one chairing the committee. She was the one chairing the committee. And she introduced the panel members, and then we also introduced ourselves. And then Mr. Ansari was also there.
You went with your lawyers?
No, we didn't go with the lawyer. I mean, I went there with my colleague, editor, because for us, we didn't see it as something that we were going to talk about. I mean, it was going to be full of legalese. So we thought, why don't we just respond to them and then see?
And you said Mr. Ansari himself was also there in this
meeting?
Yes,
he was also there.
Okay.
Yes. So we were all called together into the conference room. Upon sitting down, the Chief Justice told us why we had been invited. And she said that apparently Mr. Ansari had appeared before the committee earlier. And that Mr. Ansari had said what he's been accused of saying wasn't a true representation or a true reflection of what he said in the interview, And that was the reason why the committee thought it wise to invite us to bring as primary source, to bring to them the footage so that they could just oppose it to what he had said. So it wasn't that ABC News was under any investigation. We were just supposed to assess them.
So what it is that the General Legal Counsel is investigating the comments made by Ansari, and they needed and because of what he had said, he had denied that he made those comments the way it had been portrayed. That's why you were brought in to provide the real footage.
Exactly. So it wasn't that ABC News was under any investigation, but the committee thought that because Mr. Ansari, who was under investigation for the comments that he had made and the claims that he had made in the interview, they thought that they needed to get the footage from the primary source. That's why they invited us to give them the tape, which we handed over to them. And then the Chief Justice asked that it to be played. And so it was played. And the Chief Justice thanked us for bringing the footage to them.
In this footage, what is Ms. Ansari saying in the footage that was played today?
Well, I think it will not be right on my part to repeat whatever he might have said, especially whereby General Legal Counsel is investigating the person who said.
Well, just for proper context, this is part of the interview which you broadcast. Let's listen.
Would they have been any better than the students who went to write the exam? Why should they treat the candidates as though they were lawyers? Even we lawyers, even judges, we don't profess to know everything about the law. We will know, as much as, we need to go by our profession, daily in the courtroom. We don't profess to know everything. It's only God, who is omnipotent and omniscient, not human beings. So the members of the General Legal Council, to the extent that they've arrogated to themselves powers they don't have, they must be told so in plain language. They don't have. What they are trying to do is just, perpetrating fraud on unsuspecting students. You come and write the exam, you will pass, then you write and only 128.
Is that what you played to the Chief Justice today?
Exactly so. That's what we played. And so after playing it, and then the chief asked us whether we could confirm that was what we brought in. We confirmed, and then she thanked us. And then we had other conversations related, but not before the committee. I mean, she advised us as media house, and she expressed her concern as to the kind of editorial discretion the media uses, and a whole lot of things. We took the advice in good faith, and then we left. So Mr. Ansasa is before the committee. So ABC News is not before the committee. We only assisted them.
Okay, and did they say they might reach out to you again, or you completely let go in terms of, as they say, discharged completely from the committee?
Oh, well. I mean, we've told them our readiness to assist them anytime it becomes necessary. So we are there, unless maybe the committee wants to go into the content and then try to question our editorial discretion, which I'm sure certainly they will not do because they know what the law says about media freedom. So they know where to draw the boundary.
But they did not question, in essence, the work you've done as a journalist. They didn't raise any concerns with, as they say, maybe the ethical, professional conduct as a journalist. It's purely assisting the committee to do his work in terms of probing and answering.
Well, I must say a conversation like that ensued, but it wasn't as part of the committee hearing. It was another side issue, and then it was a concern. For me, it was a genuine concern being raised by the Chief Justice, which myself at times was to raise the same issue, that somebody may talk for about 30 minutes, a very innocuous statement, somebody will pick that one as editorial discretion and use that one to somebody will say lambast the person. So editorial discretion, you can question it, but I mean, that is his editorial discretion. Okay, and so I thought I started an example. I told the Chief Justice that I remember when I was having an attachment in a certain media house. We went on an assignment, and then a fight ensued over there. Supporters of a certain group, they were fighting over food. The following, when I went back to the office, I did a story based on the press statement read by the leader of the group. I didn't focus on fighting over food. The following day, a state-owned newspaper published that aspect, that certain so-and-so people fought over food at this program. And then another private paper also published it. Then my editor called me and said, Gordon, did you see this thing happening? I said, yes. So they said, why didn't you report? And I said, no, Chief, you sent me to go and cover a press conference. Not people fighting over food. I thought it was an innocuous thing, not worth, yes.
I mean, you have to be a journalist to understand what you're saying, but I get you the point you're making. And so you're not returning to the committee, are you? This is it. It's done for you. You're moving on. Yes.
Unless maybe they find it very necessary to call us, then we talk to lawyers and see what we can do. But for now, I'm sure we are done.
I'm grateful. That is Gordon Asare-Bediako. He is the editor of the ABC News portal. On the line with me is a man who had criticized the move by the General Legal Counsel. Professor Kweku Asare is on the line with me. Prof, thank you for your time here on Top Story.
Thank you, Evans. How are you?
I'm doing great, sir. I'm grateful that you joined me. Just before I come to you, we've just been speaking to the second deputy speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagwin, who is tonight launched a pretty scathing critique of the Chief Justice and the General Legal Counsel in the wake of the entire controversy surrounding legal education and whether or not it should be opened up, something that you've been championing yourself. I want to listen briefly to what Alban Bagwin's position is on the matter, some of the things he says about the General Legal Counsel.
And some of us were shocked to hear the Chief Justice make the statement she made about mass production of lawyers, and that we should rather focus on quality and not mass production, as if the two cannot go together.
You disagree with her?
No, completely. I disagree with her. But
so you want mass, or you want quality, or you want both?
The two can go together.
Okay.
The two do go together. There's nothing wrong with that.
But you see her point, right?
No, I don't see her point.
That if you have quality, is better than when you just throw in a lot of lawyers. You're a lawyer yourself, who are not up to the task. Or you think that the market will sift you out?
What we go to learn at the law faculty and the law school is where to find the law.
True.
Exactly. That's what you learn. When you come out, then you now get to know the law. You put it into practice, where to find it. The case that the person is coming to talk to you, nobody has ever handled that case. And therefore you start looking for where to get the law in order to handle that case. And that is what we learn in the school. The young men and women of these days who are struggling to be lawyers are very brilliant. I've had discussions with a lot of them. Very good materials. What we need to do is to create the opportunity for them. Okay? You now have so many law faculties. Why not allow them to create the law schools?
You make it sound very simple. Why do you think it's been so difficult for the Chief Justice and the General Legal Counsel to see what you are painting?
They've not experienced it before.
The Chief Justice has been, it's the Chief Justice, he's been there, he experienced everything else.
They've had a smooth route to pass.
As in to...
You don't have the rough edges of life.
How can you really say that?
You.
I mean, the Chief Justice must have gone through a lot.
What's her background?
A lawyer?
After she passed as a lawyer, where did she pass through?
She probably went to the bench, I don't know.
No, she didn't go to the bench. She started, but went to civil aviation.
Oh, so you know her?
Yes, I've known her for a long time. Before she was appointed by the PNDC government to the bench. And so I've known her from that time. And I followed her in her development throughout. And I was practicing in Accra here. So I know a lot of them.
So when you say that...
They've got a smooth sailing. It's not the same now.
When you say smooth sailing, you're saying the struggle to be a lawyer?
There were so many opportunities. And so they easily grabbed it.
Okay.
Now the competition is tough because of the numbers and because of the difficulty in growing and creating more opportunities for the youth.
So they don't appreciate the current challenges?
The challenges that the youth are facing.
Okay.
And even the crying need for more of such professionals.
You almost are saying that they are out of touch with today's reality.
That's true. You are putting it, but that's the reality on the ground. They are completely out of touch. You allow the universities to start law faculties. Your colleagues, very good, brilliant lawyers, are lecturing them. Okay? And you say they cannot get the last layer of law schools to train them professionally. They must all come to one law school, which is at Makola.
That is Aban Babing, and catch him for the full interview on PM Express later tonight at 9 on the Joy News channel. Professor Kweku Asare is with me on the telephone line. Let's start with just briefly on this. What you just heard the second deputy speaker say, that the reason why we're where we are is simply because the Chief Justice and the likes on the GLC simply are out of touch with reality. Is that a view you share?
Yeah, I share that view, but even more than what he said, Parliament itself is also out of touch with reality because he's now shifting blame to the Chief Justice. But we had the opportunity in 2017 when the General Legal Counsel steamrolled the Parliament to sign LI 2235. We were there telling the parliamentarians, don't allow this. These guys are out of touch. And so get rid of this LI 2235 and direct them to open up legal education. They did not allow that to happen. They signed the LI or allowed the LI 2035 to mature, to ripen into law, and now he's coming back to blame them. So the politicians also take the blame. This problem should have been solved long ago, and the reason it persists is because the politicians have woefully failed to exercise oversight over the General Legal Council, and they have allowed the General Legal Council to completely get out of control.
Let's come to the controversy surrounding this latest invitation to the ABC News portal. They have honored that invitation. You had my interview with the editor. They went there. They've given the video recordings. You had criticized the move by the GLC. Why? What is wrong with what they've done?
Yeah, a couple of reasons. But before I tell you why I disagree with the GLC, let me also say something about the interview that you had with the producer of the ABC TV. My name, Mr. Asari, I think, Bediakun. I was happy they contacted attorneys, and he said 80% of the attorneys advised them not to go. Notwithstanding that advice, they went. And that is how clients get themselves into trouble or get others into trouble. Look, if you are the media, not just the media, if you are anyone, and anyone in law enforcement, the judiciary, or anyone invites you, you should not honor that invitation unless you understand a couple of things. One, why are you inviting me? Two, what is the law that gives you the power to invite me? Three, what is my potential liability if I honor your invitation? Do not rush to go there, because by rushing to go there, you could put yourself into trouble, or you could put some of your guests who you invite to attend or to participate in your shows into trouble. So I was troubled by the fact that they ignored 80% of the attorneys that they contacted and decided to go. It's almost meaningless to seek people's advice if you are not going to follow that. Now, going to the Chief Justice and the invitation, first thing first, let us look at what they sent to ABC. It was a letter written by the Judicial Secretary following the direction of the Chief Justice to appear before an unnamed committee of the General Legal Council and to produce certain documents.
And now we know the Chief Justice herself chaired this particular committee today, because she told us as much.
The Chief Justice has no power to direct the Judicial Secretary to invite anyone to produce anything. That is just an abuse of power, and it's a power move to intimidate the media and the lawyers.
How is that? How is that a move to intimidate it? It's simple invitation to come and help us probe a different subject.
No, that's what I'm saying. You cannot, the Chief Justice, the President, the Speaker, they cannot just invite people because they are the Chief Justice and the Speaker and so on. Some law must give them the power to do that. And when they write the invitation, they should say, I'm inviting you pursuant to this law, pursuant to this power that I have. It's not just I'm inviting you, come, and then you also get up and then you go.
Mr. Sorry, so if they're investigating another lawyer for his comments, and the General Legal Council has the power to investigate another lawyer.
You have to state that. You have to state that. You cannot hide the reason why you are inviting me. Second, Ivan, let me tell you that the Chief Justice, again, does not have the power to invite to investigate other lawyers. That power is given exclusively to the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Council, of which the Chief Justice is not a member. Justice Eni Yabua, Justice Bafu Boni, and others are members of the disciplinary committee. And the disciplinary committee itself has its own administrative secretary. When a lawyer is being investigated, the the disciplinary committee, using its administrative secretary, would have to follow some rules to invite this lawyer. And that disciplinary committee itself cannot sua sponte. They cannot on their own just decide to investigate somebody. There must be a complainant. A complainant comes in there and says, lawyer X did this to me, I'm unhappy, he's violated something. Then that disciplinary committee will write to the lawyer and give him 14 days. This is what you have received, what says you? and the lawyer will respond. It will go back to the complainant will respond, and then the disciplinary committee will look at the matters. And if there's a prima facie case, they will set up an inquiry. And when an inquiry is set up, only then can they issue summons to witnesses to bring documents and so on and so forth.
So as you say, this is an abuse of power?
A complete abuse of power. A complete abuse of power. There is nothing in the Legal Profession Act that will empower the Chief Justice alone to direct the Judicial Secretary to invite someone to produce something. And this is, in Ghana, we play with laws. They invite you and you show up.
But Professor, sorry, just on that point, your other friend, I don't know if he's a friend, but also bears your name, Ansar Sari, from what we just heard from Gona Sari, has submitted himself to this process. And he's a lawyer of some standing. He was sitting in the meeting today.
Please. He may have submitted himself to a process. We don't know what letter he received. He is an attorney. The media, the ABC is not an attorney. The letter that ABC received, which we have seen, is basically a letter which says the Chief Justice has directed the Judicial Secretary to invite you. That's what we are. That's the only thing we know. We don't know what they told Ansar Sari that led Ansar Sari to go there. So we can't go there.
Okay.
The General Legal Counsel, not the Chief Justice, may direct the Judicial Secretary to strike off the name of a lawyer convicted for dishonesty or moral turpitude once the appeal window is closed. That is the only time that the Judicial Secretary may take direction. And here again, the direction does not come from the Chief Justice. It comes from the General Legal Counsel itself when a lawyer has been convicted. Disciplining lawyer is entrusted completely to a disciplinary committee, and the Chief Justice is not a member of the disciplinary committee.
Well,
I cannot take... Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just because of time, I just ran out on this. I'm very grateful that you joined us with your thoughts on it. Professor Kweku Asare joining us on this very controversial subject and with his thoughts on this. We had reached out to Mr. Ansari himself. He was unable to speak to us because he was in a meeting. Once we do, we will get clarity on why he submitted to the process, which Professor Asare says cannot be supported by the law. This is Top Story.
So, Bob Ray, as